Hey everyone, Will here from Mature Minded Gamers, and tonight I am joined by Eric and Brad. And today we are going to be doing our review of Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig by Stonemaier Games and Bezier Games. This was a smash up of Between Two Cities from Stonemaier Games and the Mad King Ludwig, Castles of Mad King Ludwig by Bezier. They kind of came together and created this tile placement game that I actually found to be quite fun.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this.
When I first opened up the box, I was a little concerned as far as like with just the tiles being all over the place and the design. I don't know, it kind of seemed like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to like this number crunching scoring game with all this stuff going on. I was pleasantly surprised. It was a lot easier to cronk than I originally had anticipated, and oh man, I like it. I like it a lot.
I like the cooperative where you're working with the player beside you to build a castle on both your sides. So you're working with basically all the players in the game if it's a small player game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you had 4 or more, I guess that wouldn't be the case. But I liked it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun coordinating what we were going to do with both of these guys as we were playing. I want to play it with more players because I think it just adds it might add a bigger dynamic to the game when the person you're working with isn't also working to the person you're left. So that was the thing with 3 players. Like we had, you and I were working together, you and he were working together, he and I were working together. So there wasn't any strategy about me trying to do something that would have put me ahead of, or no, there was strategy. We're trying to me and you, putting us ahead of you and him. And,
right.
You know what I mean? So when there's more players in that and the table is bigger, it might add a different layer of complexity that I think might be fun. But yeah, this was a ton of fun.
No, it's crazy. It plays up to 7 players. So, I mean, that could be a lot of going on. And you're drafting these tiles back and forth. And I thought the component quality was fantastic. A lot of variation in the tiles, how the points worked. Very easy to understand what you got going. The rule book, while seems large, was actually pretty nice because every single page it laid out like the very simple thing of, hey, you're going to draw 2 tiles and place them on one side, and then it tells you in each of the pages how you score each of those tiles, and that was just super simple to get across. The hardest part was deciding what tiles to draft and what tiles to keep, and then which tiles to put on each side, because you can't communicate, and that was one of the cool things. But back to the components, the storage solution by Game Trays was very slick. Very solid construction on that. The tile cardboard themselves were pretty solid. The art was really detailed.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You said you saw a corgi.
Yeah.
In one of the little rooms, there was a game room that you had drawn. Yep. But pretty awesome.
Yeah, I
awesome.
like the themes they used in it.
Absolutely.
I think when you have more than 3 players too, there's going to be a lot more variety of tiles going around. You're not going to get the same tiles like we were getting, which we kind of had a short supply if you think about it. Where if we're passing out with more tiles overall, somebody may be working on a certain strategy that may pass you all the living room tiles or all the outdoor tiles that you need. I think that would add a lot more variety to it.
Yeah, if you think about it, like what we were doing, we would see the same stack multiple times. But if you're playing with 4 or 5 players, like you'd get to the point to where each stack would be completely different each time it went around.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because higher player counts, you wouldn't see your hand again.
Right.
Once it's gone, you won't see it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that could definitely change the dynamic of the game.
Yeah, I'd say one of the other things that was a little more difficult in this game for some of us to figure out which direction to place their tiles.
We won't say who, but as far as like ease of gameplay, did you guys find this game easy to understand, just the very basics at least?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
scoring's a little bit slower than I would have expected, but that happens when you have tile placement games and you're scoring off tiles. When you think of like Carcassonne. I mean, that's the fun part's laying the tiles down. The sucky part is scoring it at the end. I mean,
it didn't take us that long though, because
no,
it was just very down the line.
Scoring was really easy. The pad it gives you makes it really easy to kind of put that together.
And there's a bunch of them. Something you had mentioned in one of our other videos was running out of those score pads.
So just in a general, I'm not a real big fan of consumables in games like that because once you're gone, you're out. And far too many times I've run out in the wrong time. So I don't like that. But I think it would be easier to do this with a scratch pad. I think that this pad just made it a little easier, but otherwise it'd be easier to do it, or it would be somewhat simple to do with a notepad.
Oh yeah, I mean, because really it just kind of gave you the list of the things to score. and it just made it easier to grasp what you're scoring and how much you think gives you running totals and things. I mean, you could easily use a piece of paper.
Sure.
So not really a requirement.
I think this game is probably easy to learn and probably hard to master because getting the tiles and the orientation you need to get the maximum score is something I think you need to see more of the tiles to understand what that looks like. Because for the first round we played, I think we were kind of just putting at least Eric and I were just kind of putting tiles out there and, you know, figuring out how they interacted with one another after they were on the board.
Right, I definitely was. I agree. It takes a couple games for you to really get the gist of how to score and what you're looking to do. And,
and the fact that you can't table talk is just, it's awesome because you can't pre-plan, you know what I mean, but at the same time you're like, oh well, hopefully they see the same thing that I'm seeing, but you never know. So final dice score for you guys?
I think I'm gonna give it an 18 out of 20. I really like this game.
I was gonna say 18 out of 20. I think this would end up in my collection.
Very solid game. 18 out of 20 for myself as well. Definitely a keep in my collection. I will not be getting rid of this game anytime soon. So
all right, everybody, thanks for checking out our videos. Make sure you go to our website, maturemindedgamers.com. We do video games, board games, and much more.